So a lot of people that have joined the guild have been asking a lot of different questions. Let's say, how do bosses work? How do we get chain links? What are omnis and how are they summoned? And all kinds of easy questions to learn the answers to if you try to dig a bit on your own. But I have a lot of that information in my head and I end up typing it almost every day. So we decided why not try to make some videos to explain all of these different parts of the game and parts of the guild. Tonight, we're going to start with a very easy one, which is how do bosses work. And we're going to start with an easy boss summon first. The guild needs the Mausoleum Mini token to complete our Omni book, so I figured why not try that to start. It's an easier mini boss, so it'll be easy for me to talk while I'm explaining it. First part is that we usually announce it to the Alliance and the guild. So I'll also announce it on Discord in case people are watching for it that that need a mini tag that aren't on the game at the moment. So you'll have to give me 1 second. Once that's done, if I need any specific gear for a boss, I'll get it. In this case, it's an easy mini. It has a lot of snakes that poison, but I don't even think I'm going to need more than the cures I have for one summon. So I'm just going to head in. Not sure why Ganthron's taking the slow route. You should know where the shortcut is. I'm going to be really confused if he's ahead of me now. I don't feel like maybe I completely misunderstood the best way to get in here. Bad timing for someone to be in a murderer in a Mausoleum. Path Alliance running in. I know what you're all thinking. I clearly was sniping him somehow. He must have a stream up or something. Planned it all. Oof. Not easy to fight stuff when flagged. So, since Ganthron's here and Ganthron can handle barding, I can pull off my barding chain and put on my boss damage chain. Focus boss damage, which is nice. I announced the boss 3 minutes ago, so let's give it another minute or two of waiting. I'll probably fast forward through this part in the video. When I'm fighting a boss, I often like to stack my health bar right next to the bosses so I can see them both right next to each other really easily. So that's why I just minimized it. Very good chance that guy's a thief. Probably the one that was popping my pouch earlier. He's been around this whole evening. playing Stancer bosses, I forgot about that. As you can see, that blue rain that was coming down causes bleeds, and I really didn't feel like dealing with what would happen if this stacked up on me, so that's why I backed out. Most bosses, a lot of the moves they have can be dodged, and it's a good habit to just try to dodge them, because when things go to shit and everyone else dies, as long as you know how to dodge the boss moves, you can keep things going. As you can see though, this one's going pretty easily though without us even thinking much. Oh, I proc and I gotta wait. What was hitting me? Looks like we're probably not clearing ads at all. I'm guessing that's not anything could be as like that or yeah. Here comes the ice storm, no cause bleeds, let's back up. When a boss dies, main thing to note is that, at least within our alliance, everyone should back away from the corpse and let the summoning guild's officers loot. I think most guilds and alliances probably handle it that way, but if you're not an officer summoning a boss and you stand on it, you can be attacked and die. Hooray, I got the token. Put that to the side before a thief gets it. As you can see, the boss corpse, everything shows up as skulls, and those get looted as items into your bag. They don't stack, which is a little annoying, no matter what. I'm going to go to Lyric now to get out of here more safely. That's awesome. Now that we have that token, I can make a second video tonight explaining a little bit about Omnis. Every guild handles their loot differently. For the most part, Path collects the loot and it's put in the officer hall, at which point the officers can then give it to the guild members as they need it. Occasionally we do distribute bosses as parts of events and stuff, but for the majority of our bosses, loot gets collected by the guild, and then as guild members need things to advance their characters, we can provide it to them, which is a little different than some other guilds. Now that wasn't a very exciting video to watch probably, I just kind of sat there beating on it, but it's a good intro to explaining how bosses work in the guild. And thanks for watching. One thing I forgot to mention in the boss video, so it's just coming a little bit after. 5 minutes after the boss dies, you'll get a notice that you can type in boss results to see like who did damage to the boss and whatnot. I can see, let's see, it shows the order of damage that was done to the boss. It shows if someone got a token, who got the token. I think that I'm not sure if like it's a natural boss, if it'll show who got the token if they weren't in your alliance or not. But shows if there was a token dropped, who got a token, and then it also, you can see like who did the most healing. In general, don't worry too much about who's on the top here. The most important thing with bosses is just getting them down safely, and so it doesn't show it in here, but the people that are killing the ads at spawn are a lot more valuable than the boss results explain. Some other things to explain about bosses, since I didn't really do that when the boss was summoned, is how bosses are summoned or how bosses show up. The first and most common way is these bars, like I just did with the Mausoleum Mini. These bars get filled up by the guild hunting and farming in the dungeon. Any gold that's earned in that dungeon starts to fill the bar. And a main boss takes 1 million gold for a summon, and a mini boss takes 500,000 gold to summon. The bar maxes out at 1 million. So for example, our ocean bar is at 1 million. It's not getting higher. So we really need to summon that so we're not wasting time on any of our farm on the ocean. And I believe that we have it planned to do that in the morning. But yeah, you don't want bars sitting full for very long. The other ways that bosses can spawn are natural spawns. Natural spawns are on a timer of, I don't know, a couple days. We'll just say, I don't know the exact numbers. You can find them on the wiki if you really care about that kind of stuff. And they're not exact. Like, let's just say minis are maybe from like 2 to 3 days, and mains are like 4 to 6 days. So like, there's a wide range that they could spawn. And if you're lucky and you catch them in there, you can announce it to the guild, or you can decide what you want to do with it. But in our alliance, if you announce it to the guild, potentially to the alliance, and generally, if only alliance members show up, whoever announced it, that guild will loot the boss and distribute it to everyone that came. If other guilds show up and it just turns into kind of a little bit more chaos with like non-ally guilds around, it generally turns into a free-for-all for loot. And the one thing that is generally expected is that whatever guild within the alliance announced the natural spawn is given the token if someone in the alliance gets it. There also are contested bosses. The main bosses, when there's a natural spawn, have a 50% chance of being contested. If it's contested, it's guaranteed to drop a chain link and maybe also a corrupted link. I can't remember exactly. The boss room becomes a PvP zone where anyone that enters it is flagged as potentially, like, you can attack them and you can be attacked by them without anyone taking murder accounts. So those can be relatively competitive at times. We've had some pretty big fights over them at times. A lot of times we're just not in the mood and we don't deal with them. Depends on who's online and how much people are feeling like a fight. If you see blue burning braziers, blue fires outside of a boss room, that means it's contested. So don't go in there unless you plan on PvPing, because once you enter that, other people that are in there or have been in there can start to target you and kill you without taking murder counts. And so if you accidentally enter a contested boss room, you could lose everything that you have on you in that run if you weren't planning on going there to fight. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So as I mentioned, I got the token from the mini boss, and I'm now going to record a video explaining what the tokens are used for.